now listening to The Power of Gentle Talk with Ana Palacio, the talk that informs, inspires, and motivates.
Okay, welcome back everyone to The Power of Gentle Talk. My name is Ana Palacio, and today's guests are Lerner and Lorenzo Canizares. And we're here discussing why should Bernie Sanders be the next president. So I have my next question.
I love hearing you say that. I just have to say, Bernie Sanders should be the next president. I love it every time you say that. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
I echo the sentiment.
It's music to my ears.
Okay, so how does Sanders see the role of America in the world? Okay, can America make a difference in terms of human rights?
Well, one of the things that Bernie has made very clear is that he is very much opposed of us getting involved in wars of choice. Something like Iraq will not happen with Bernie Sanders. Something like Libya will not happen with Bernie Sanders. He is not interested in, especially when those wars are questionable in terms of how important were they for the United States. People say that, well, those wars were done under false pretenses. Well, maybe false pretenses because they wanted it to be false pretenses, because everybody knew that there was no reason to invade those countries. So with Bernie, you're not going to see that.
You sound very strong about that.
He's very strong. He's stronger than I am.
But that's the thing. A lot of people don't see Bernie as strong. They see him as very passive, and so your point.
No, we have to listen to him, and listen to him on these points. And there's YouTube Bernie, and you'll hear Bernie in full fire. Yeah, feel the burn is serious.
Okay, Susan, do you have?
Yeah, and he. There was a point I was going to make. I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, so we were touching the other question.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So diplomacy, and Bernie really does believe in talking and in finding ways to solve problems through dialogue. And he also believes that the people of those areas, or the areas where there might be some kind of conflagration, that other countries who are associated in that area are the ones who ought to be, fighting their fights. And so I feel very confident that Bernie is not going to take us. Bernie is not a hawk. He is a dove. He's not a hawk, but he will do, and he always has done what's necessary to, to make important things happen. So he's not soft by any stretch of the imagination.
She uses the term hawk. I will use the term warmonger. He's not a warmonger. He's not a Dick Cheney that is crying for war in every corner of the world. No, Bernie stands very much for what Susan said, regional resolution of problems. Resolve your conflict among yourselves.
Take responsibility.
Yeah, take responsibility for your own.
Yeah, for so many years, people have just looked to their big daddy over here in the United States, but we're not the world's big daddy. We're a country just like all other countries. And anyway, that's not Bernie's point of view. That's mine. I don't know if it's Bernie's point of view or not. So.
I think they're close.
But on a personal note, I think that part of the reason maybe Bernie may be having a hard time at times with what he believes in is because people don't want to be accountable for their actions, and it's a time when we need to face our fears and say, I need to deal with this, and I need to see for what it is. And some people don't. They've been babied or taken care of too much. And I think that's part of the problem. They want the old system just to carry them along. And
that's what's gotten us into this trouble where we now have corporations running our country. Now our corporations are our government, and so we can hang back and let somebody else do it for us. But that's not it. We really need a participatory government, and we all need to be, stepping up to the plate if we want the freedoms that our men and women fight for. If we want those freedoms here, we have to stand up for them here as well.
To follow up on that, if Bernie wins the nomination, one of the things that is going to come back being used by the Republicans to the utmost would be this concept of political revolution. And this concept is totally ingrained in the thinking pattern of the United States and in the philosophical way of looking at the world. If you remember, when Reagan was president, maybe you're too young for that, but when Reagan was president, he started the concept of take care of number one. That take care of number one was in itself a political revolution, because basically it was telling you, don't worry about the other people, just worry about yourself. Don't give a damn about anybody else, just worry about yourself. And
That's when the theft started.
and that's exactly what happened. That's justified.
Look over there, don't look over there.
That's right. He justified
Let's ignore things.
all the stuff, grab. Justified taking away our jobs to China. I mean, we didn't go to China with the jobs because we wanted to help the Chinese people. We went there because we felt that we were going to exploit those people to the max. And these people that took the jobs there were making money here. They just wanted to make much more money.
All the things that unions fought for here, fair wages and proper hours, and all the things that unions fought for here, didn't exist in other countries. And so we could take, they could sidestep unions and go to other countries and pay 50 cents on the, an hour for work that would cost more money here, and then people would say, well, it's cheaper in China, thinking that it's okay that it's cheaper in China. It's not. We're exploiting people in China. That's not okay, and it's not okay that we're losing our jobs here. I mean, we're becoming a service country. Where's our manufacturing? Where's our products?
Where's our creativity? We're not using our minds anymore.
Now that brings us to the question of what happened a couple of days ago with demonstrations all over the nation for $15 an hour. And Bernie was one of the people that spearheaded that movement for the $15 an hour. I don't know if Hillary had jumped on that yet, but she probably will be jumping on it.
No, she's not. She's for $12 an hour, which is less than anybody could live on.
All right. So the thing is that some people say, well, paying $15 an hour for flipping burgers. Look, when Henry Ford and the Ford Motor Company began that whole concept of paying people enough money to be able to buy what they produce, and basically that was one of the concepts. You see, that was a part of the political revolution, because that was a jump start to a different way of thinking. And so that's all what Bernie means by political revolution. It's a jump start on the way of thinking, in how you look at things. And when you look at the so-called flipping burger thing, what's the difference between flipping a burger or turning a screw? I mean,
people have garbage or any of it.
Yeah,
it's all necessary.
People became middle class out of those jobs. So these young people and older people, because not all the people that work in fast food are young people that are making barely survival wages, they will be raised to somewhat of a lower middle class way of life, and which basically will improve the life of all of us. Because when there is a middle class, a strong middle class that there's a lot of people in it, then there is more economic activity, and we all benefit from that point of view.
Okay.
And that's the political revolution we're talking about.
Okay. So my next question is, when it comes to Cuba, does Bernie Sanders think that we should demand anything from the Cuban government in terms of human rights or supporting the support for Venezuela in regards to the repressive apparatus? How do you feel as a Cuban American?
One of the things that, and I hate the internet now is circulating a video where Bernie supports, done in 1985, that he's supporting the Cuban Revolution. What he's supporting is what we among Cubans and the gains that the Cuban Revolution have brought to the Cuban people. There is no doubt about it. The education of the Cuban people. Cuba today might be the best educated country in the world.
I believe it.
And all of us that were we all have an opportunity to have a great education. Cuba also has one of the best healthcare system in the world, and as a matter of fact, we cannot deny the fight against Ebola in Africa was won by the Cubans. There is no ifs and buts about it. Building hospitals don't cure Ebola. It was the Cuban doctors, that were there, that sacrificed, some of them sacrificed their lives in order to be able to defeat that Ebola. When you talk about Cuba and the human rights question, is Bernie definitely is in favor of democracy and in favor of the observation of human rights, but the human rights thing needs to be looked at it in a more wider way, because it's not just my right to talk and say things. I mean, that's important. Because that's the soul. If you don't have the right to be able to be who you are, then it's affecting your soul. And so that's important, that Cuba needs to deal with that. There is no doubt about it. And I don't think Bernie will take a back step of that. But then in the other hand, when you have an embargo on the Cuban people, where you're basically telling the Cuban people, we're gonna make life miserable for you, so you will revolt against the government. What the hell are you telling the Cuban people? We're using you as a tool to change the government. I think in both countries, in Cuba and Venezuela, the national sovereignty of those countries has to be respected. Things can be this work that Obama has done is something that could have been done way before. And I tell you the truth, I believe that if this had been done 40 years ago, I would probably be in Cuba today. Because it will have changed. It has to change. When you open, and how the Eastern European people changed, they opened because there was contact. When you are only hostile to the people, how do you expect people to win them over? When the only thing you are throwing at them is misery and difficulties, and there's this pattern. And I see Bernie, in many ways, a continuation of a lot of the good Obama policies. I think I would trust Bernie much more to expand on those policies than I would trust some of the others, because somebody else. I don't know about O'Malley. I will say that O'Malley, because he did a lot of good things in Maryland, but Hillary, no. Hillary lost to Obama, not because Obama looks nicer than her. That was the point. She lost to Obama because Obama spoke to the people's needs.
Yeah.
As Bernie's doing.
And
the press, of course, and the press on the other side is throwing everything they can so that people don't hear it. There's been very, very little press coverage of Bernie, certainly during the whole summer, where he had tens of thousands of people attending his rallies, and you couldn't find it in the news anywhere. You couldn't find it on TV, you couldn't find it in the newspaper, you couldn't even find it online. You had to, it's the alternative presses that were running
his campaigns. Okay, who are Bernie's main supporters, Susan? And of course, you're welcome to jump in.
Who are his main supporters?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think of Bernie as the return or the renewal or the resurgence or the first real Rainbow Coalition. I mean, Bernie has got everybody. If you look at a Bernie Sanders rally, everyone is there. You've got your geriatric crowd like myself. You've got your young people, your students. You've got you've got gay people and straight people and black people and yellow people and white people and Hispanic people and people who speak Czechoslovakian. I mean, you've got everybody is in Bermie's
Camp.
And that's really exciting because, I mean, one of the things that the polls are telling us, polls are really interesting, and we won't get into that a lot, but one of the things that the polls are telling us is that, Hillary's ahead. Well, but you got to realize that the polls call landline telephones. A lot of the people I know anymore don't even have a landline telephone. Polls call people who voted last time. So a lot of your college-age kids, they're not getting polled, and so it's going to be a big surprise when the voting starts happening, because these kids, these young people, are fierce about having change, and Bernie is fierce about handing over a planet that is livable and habitable, and he really is the only candidate that is sincerely committed to changing our systems over to renewable, sustainable energy, and he's my guy. But anyway, so there's the seniors like myself.
To follow up on that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Because I was in Pennsylvania in 2008, one of the reasons that, and I work with OFA, the Organization for America, which was Obama's own creation. It had nothing to, we had a relationship with the Democratic Party, but we were not part of the Democratic Party. And the enthusiasm that was there in OFA that put Obama over the top,
Right.
is now found among Bernie's supporters. People are raving about Bernie, and the reason they're raving about Bernie because they see light at the end of the tunnel if this guy gets elected. People do see that.
And just, there's a group that I left out of that group of Rainbow Coalition. There's Republicans in that group. Oh yes, there are a lot of Republicans in that group. There's evangelists in that group. There are a lot of people who see that Bernie's message really is a spiritual message. He really does. If you want to talk about Christianity, okay, and talk about Jesus as bringing people together and and caring for the least among us, Bernie is the only candidate out there that really walks the talk of caring for the least of us.
That's a great point. I was reading the encyclical Laudato Si, the Pope Francis' latest encyclical, and my goodness, it looked like it was written by Bernie. It was basically, you take away all that the religious part of the conversation, but in terms of the social component of what the encyclical says, it's like you're listening to Bernie.
About his stance on Medicare, Social Security, and that.
Yeah, well, like we're saying, he cares for the least of us, and among the least of us are, the elderly and people who are retired and probably don't have enough, or maybe not have enough money to live on, and so Medicare and Social Security are critical for these people, and Bernie talks about not wanting to cut Social Security. Oh my God, I can't imagine what would happen if my Social Security check got cut. He's talking about expanding it, and he has a method to expand it. For some reason, the cap for Medicare, for Social Security rather, is $118,000, and so anyone who makes over $118,000 pays exactly the same amount of money that people who make $50,000 a year. Is that true?
It's over.
That's not right.
It's over 110,000 people pay. The cap is 100%.
You pay on 118,000. So he's saying, well, let's raise the cap. Let's pay Social Security on more of the money that's being made, and that will assure Social Security being in place for another 65 years, not another 19 or 20 years.
Another aspect of that, by the way, he had been working very closely with Elizabeth Warren on this question of Social Security.
The only woman I would vote for president.
That's right. I feel the same way. As a matter of fact, I came into the Bernie thing through Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. I'm one of those Warren part of the Democratic
Oh,
Party.
very good.
Yeah, and as a matter of, well,
Yeah.
the other thing is Medicare. Medicare, Bernie wants Medicare for all. And that's very important for young people like you. It's very important to do that.
For the young part.
You know, to do that, because basically, look at this statistic. If we take lifespan, considering all the people, United States ranks like in the top, in the 40, you know, it's like all the countries.
32% or something like that? Or is it?
Yeah, no, it's like number 40. I mean,
Yeah, we don't do very well.
now, when you get to 65, when you get to Susan age, you get to my age, well, I'm 68, you get to my age, we have the longest lifespan in the world because of Medicare. Because Medicare gives us the opportunity to be able to be well taken care of, health-wise. So basically, what Bernie is talking about is providing that to everybody in America. You know.
Okay, and I don't mean to rush you, but we have 3 minutes left.
Oh, goodness.
So I wanted to ask this question to both of you. Why should Latinos vote for Bernie Sanders?
Okay. First of all,
1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
all the issues that Bernie stands for are important to us. You know, all the economic issues. And one thing that I want people to remember is that Raúl Grijalva, who is the head of the Progressive Caucus in Congress, is supporting, endorsed Bernie. And a lot of the Latino organizations are supporting Bernie. Bernie stands for I have immigration reform with a path to citizenship.
Okay.
You know, which is the key component for our struggle.
Let me jump in.
Yes, because you have like a...
Because Bernie loves you. Latinos should vote for Bernie because Bernie loves you. He does. He really stands for all of the people. The people, not the corporations. The people who want to get ahead, the people who need education, the people who need health care, the people who need to belong. You know, Bernie comes from an immigrant family himself, right? And he believes that we all make this country great, all of us. No one left out.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you visiting the show, The Power of Gentle Talk. Thank you, Susan Lerner.
Yeah.
Thank you, Senor Canizares.
You have been a major pleasure.
All right,
Major.
please come back. We're here. And just want to remind the audience that this is The Power of Gentle Talk. When in doubt, when confused, go within. Because I firmly believe that your heart is the true seat of intelligence. And that's the only way to find your answers. So you heard a lot of good news about Bernie Sanders, and then I asked the audience to go within and let your heart decide. So until next Saturday, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dana.
Thank you.